Hey everybody, it's Emily at Homeschooling, and we're here for one last video for our 10th grade plans. And today we're going to be talking all about what we're doing for electives as well as online classes. So I always try to have a few online classes, something with a teacher who isn't me for high school, because I think it's important for her to develop relationships with other teachers, to learn about how other people have different expectations for what they want from coursework and that sort of thing. So we have 2 online classes planned so far. We might add a 3rd class later in the year, but for now we're sticking with these 2 things. The first class we're going to be doing is going to be for our foreign language. Regina has decided that she wants to study Korean. She's very into K-pop. Sarah was in Korea, so it makes sense to her for a foreign language to do that. So I found a class that sounds perfect, and I'll link the class below if you want to check that out. But it's a Korean language and culture class, and what I liked about this, I had certain parameters I was looking for in a class. One, it needs to be a live class and it needs to meet at least twice a week, and it does that. It needs to be something that is ongoing. So not this teacher only has this one class and that's it. It needs to be I need this year, I need a second semester, I need next semester. It needs to carry on so that we have enough credits. Because most of the classes I'm finding on Outschool are 1 semester, and maybe there's a second semester, or maybe there's 1 and 2 years worth, and that's it. This one goes all the way through to give us enough for 3 credits if we want to continue it. So that was ideal. It also covers a lot about the culture of Korea, which I think will be really exciting for her. So it's not just a language class, it's also you're learning about the Korean culture, which I think is going to be a great element of it to keep it interesting for her. So we'll be doing that for both the fall and spring semesters. So that's going to equal out to 1 credit at the end of the year. And then the other online class we're doing is called Visual Biology. And it's a once-a-week class, and what I liked about this, because I was struggling to figure out how we were going to turn our biology this year into a full credit, because a lot of the books we're going to be doing that I talked about in Morbid Curiosities do have a science component, but on that, just by itself, isn't really enough to qualify for a credit. And especially for biology, which we need a lab course too. So because I don't have a very sciencey kid, and I know that's not going to be her career path, I wasn't really too interested in doing anything too in-depth. But I still wanted to make sure we covered the full credit worth. So Visual Biology is going to give us a way to do that. Again, I'll link this in the description if you want to go check out this course. I really liked that this is a once-a-week class, and it's all about drawing what you're learning. And it's a doodly kind of class, and she's an artist and likes to doodle, so I feel like this is ideal for her. And the teacher even says this is a great class for fidgety kids, for kids who have ADHD, that kind of thing. So I think it's really going to work well for her. And I think it's also more lecture based than doing a lot of extra we have a reading heavy year, so I feel I don't really want to add more reading if we don't have to. So I feel with what we're doing in Morbid Curiosities, then with this online class, plus we're going to be doing dissections throughout the year, which is really the bare minimum for labs, but for what we need, I think it'll be fine. We might do a couple other things. I do own a microscope. We might, if she's got the interest, do some things with that, but I didn't really want to do a really lab-heavy course when I know that she's not interested in that, so we're going to kind of keep it bare minimum for the lab component. But between that class, what we're doing with Morbid Curiosities, the dissections, and other little labs throughout the year, I think that's going to be perfect for her for a biology credit. So those are our online classes. Then for our other electives, we're going to be doing an art elective this year, and I'm doing something a little different. I usually do these as online classes. Like art is almost always online classes because I'm not an artist and I don't want to have to do it. Like I can't teach that. So we usually do some kind of online class for that. But I'm excited that Glitter Bombers has released their high school levels. They have high school art now. And so I really love the concept of Glitter Bombers, but we never got to use it. So we're finally going to get to do that. So we're going to be doing the Glitter Bombers High. And I've looked over some of the stuff. They have some like live type things that they do throughout the year. I think there's like a 1 a month live we might try to do. But there are also like lots of like videos to watch and art projects to do. So I think what we're going to aim to do is like one art thing per week. And we'll see from there how that goes and if that's something that she can kind of do on her own, because I don't really participate in the art stuff unless I am absolutely dragged into it by a small child. But like for a teen, I think like giving her the reins to kind of, okay, pick what do you want to do this week? I might give her like a choice, but mostly I want her to kind of take the reins with this. We also have a couple other electives. We are doing civics every year. We have Civics 1, 2, 3, and 4 that I'm hoping to get through 4 years worth of it. So for civics this year, we're going to finish up. We didn't quite get through this whole book last year. We have a few more sections to read in our United States Constitution graphic adaptation because we were reading through it really super slow, a piece at a time, really talking about it, making sure she was understanding it. So we're going to finish this up probably in the first few weeks of the school year. And then I want to read You Call This Democracy by Elizabeth Rush. It says how to fix our government and deliver power to the people. And this it just sounds really great, especially going into an election year. I feel like this is going to be a really good resource. It talks about all sorts of things like how to vote. And let me see if I can find the table of contents. So yeah, it says, do you live in a democracy? You can't vote for president. Strange maps, unrepresentative Senate, elections for sale, the right to lie, suppressing the vote, shut out of statehood, barred from voting, too young to vote, real representation, voter turnoff, and let's fix our democracy. So I think this is going to be a great resource to like talk about the problems that we have with things in the country, but like also offering solutions to those problems. Editing Emily here. I just bought a book. Like, sometimes you see things and you buy them spur of the moment. I just bought, or pre-ordered rather, Represent, The Unfinished Fight for the Vote. And this is by Michael Eric Dyson and Mark Favreau. I've just ordered this because it sounds like something I would want to cover in an election year because it talks a lot about voting and specifically voting rights. This covers, because we studied the suffragist movement a couple of years ago, and like she really got into that and she still talks about it. And so I was like, we should probably try to cover some of that this year. But then I saw this book, and this is even better because this focuses on like a lot of different people and groups who had to fight for the right to vote and like when they were able to get their vote. So it talks about representation throughout American history and like how different groups gained the right to vote. So I think this would be even better than rehashing the suffragist movement. So we're gonna be reading this. This doesn't come out though until September 10th, so I don't have it in my hands. I can't really tell you more about it. I think it's middle grade and up. It says ages 12 and up on the website, but like I would say like upper middle grade, high school level. It sounds like it'll be a great resource this year. So that is something else we're adding to our civics this year. And then I picked this up on a whim because I really like the author. And I think we might get a lot out of this. But this is more media literacy than specifically civics. But I think those two things do go together. And this is Big Lies, From Socrates to Social Media by Mark Kurlansky. And this is a guide to media literacy. And it's lots of pictures and little sidebars and things. So I think this will be a nice book to take us through the year. And in addition to that, we're also going to be doing a little bit of a president study. I haven't quite worked out exactly what we're doing with that yet, besides just reading about each of the presidents and maybe having her do sort of like we do in levels 5 and 6, where you're doing like a little bit of research on each president. I might have her do something like that. And of course, we'll be following along with the election and that sort of thing. So that's going to entail what we're going to do for civics in 10th grade. The last thing I'm going to talk about is our elective for health and sexuality. So let me just pull up my thing, because I ordered some books like yesterday to round this out, because I thought I had already done it. And then I was like, no, I never did that. So let me do that now so I have them in time. So I don't have them here to show you now, but I do have them. I'll put a picture up. So for the health side of things, we're going to be talking about mental health mostly. So, because we've already talked a lot about nutrition and fitness and that sort of thing. So I was like, okay, well, what direction do we want to take this? Let's do mental health. So I have 3 books that we're going to be reading for that. So I bought Where to Start, a survival guide to anxiety, depression, and other mental health challenges. And this is going to be sort of like a spine book. I think we're going to use that for like talking about just in general mental health. It says it's a comforting and useful resource for anyone who's struggling emotionally and looking for help, from the nation's leading community-based nonprofit that addresses the needs of those living with mental illness. So this is like a resource to help like understand that sort of thing. And then I bought a book called Don't Call Me Crazy, 33 Voices, Start the Conversation About Mental Health, but edited by Kelly Jensen. And so this is like a variety of different authors, each talking about something to do with mental health. And this is YA, so it says 33 actors, athletes, writers, and artists offer essays, lists, comics, and illustrations that explore a wide range of topics and their personal experiences with mental illness, how we do and don't talk about mental health, help for better understanding how every person's brain is wired differently, and what exactly might make someone crazy. And then I also have ADHD is Awesome by Penn and Kim Holderness. This is a guide to mostly thriving with ADHD. I thought this might be something we read together, and then we can like talk about it as we go. So that is the health side of things, like the mental health side of things that we're going to be doing. Then for sexuality, I have 2 books, and I already showed these in a book haul, but I'll talk about them again here briefly. I have SEX, the All You Need to Know Sexuality Guide to Get You Through Your Teens and 20s by Heather Corinna. This is a pretty hefty resource, so there's a lot in here. This is exactly what it says. Tons and tons of stuff in here to talk about things like puberty, but also body parts, things about body image, everything you could ever want to know about sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, all of that. I really liked this because it's so inclusive and talks about so many different things that you just don't see in a lot of other books. So this is going to be our spine for that. But I also grabbed Consent, the New Rules of Sex Education, Every Teen's Guide to Healthy Sexual Relationships by Jennifer Lang. This one's much shorter and is a lot like, I'm trying to show, there are illustrations and stuff in this one. So this, I don't know if we're going to read this together, if I'm going to assign her to read this. I don't know yet. I haven't really sat down and really worked out what we're doing here, but I think I'm going to assign readings from this and then have her come to me with questions, because that is what she does best anyway. So, but this way, I think what I want to do too is have like some way for her to ask questions, like maybe a back and forth journal kind of situation, so she can ask her questions without interrupting our day, because that is something I was concerned will happen with this, because she is just made of questions always. So I think if we have like a back and forth journal situation where she can ask me a question in the journal and then I'll respond and pass it back, that kind of thing, kind of replicating that whole like anonymous thing. Like, I don't know what your schools did when you did sex ed, but mine had like this like box where you could drop anonymous questions and people could ask whatever weird stuff they had in their head, without like outing themselves. Usually it was just guys trying to get the teacher to say something inappropriate. But, you know, I like that concept, but obviously it's not anonymous. Like, I know it's her and she knows it's me. Like, it's not really anonymous, but it keeps us hopefully on topic throughout our day. And so that is all of what we have planned for this school year. It's a lot, but I'm thinking this is going to be a really fun year. I'm really excited to see how it all plays out. I'm really excited, honestly, about Morbid Curiosities. I had so much fun pulling this together, and I think she's going to love it. This is the most excited she's been about a school year, all because of a silly book about cannibalism. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I'll keep you guys updated. I'll probably pop in mid-year at least and let you know how things are going. And yeah, so let me know down below in the comments what you're the most excited about for this school year. I'd love to hear about it. We are almost done. This is 10th grade. We only have 3 years left, so we're almost done. The finish line is so close. I'm getting anxious and sad, but it's okay. Let me know what you're excited about this school year, and we can chat about it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video series, and I will see you guys in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.